Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 115 of Fringe Fanatics.
I forgot for a second.
I know, for a second I was like saying it, and I was like, oh man, I don't remember. 115, we're here. I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. We greatly appreciate it. If you can, make sure to please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. And make sure to tell a friend. And then make sure that they tell a friend, and so on, and so on. Because we need as many of you possible here with us. Because tonight, we have something very special in store. Chad managed to get us our first former NFL player.
That's right.
Yeah, we got Mr. Anthony Washington joining us.
Anthony Armstrong.
I did that earlier. Anthony Armstrong.
Yeah.
It's from the Washington Commanders,
Yeah.
one of the teams he played for. He is now the co-host of the Believe in the Commanders podcast. So make sure to go and check them out. But we are having him on to talk about the big win this weekend in Super Wildcard weekend.
Yeah, I'm
for
really
the
excited
Commanders.
to talk to a Commanders insider after that game. The doink, man. The doink saved him.
Yeah, we had two different doinks this weekend, both equally as loud.
Yeah.
But the Commanders ended with a win, and the Broncos doink just ended in no points going into the halftime.
Going
But
into the half.
damn.
And
But-
I think they even kind of jinxed him. They said Will Lutz had made every field goal since November. Right?
Yeah, I blame Tony Romo.
Hey, really jinxed him, huh?
Damn you, Jim Nance.
That's why you can't do that, man. You know what's going on?
You don't talk about no hitters.
Yep.
You don't talk about kickers right before they're about to kick.
Yeah, but we do.
We do.
We do got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Because his Broncos did make the playoffs for the first time in 8 years.
Short-lived,
Yep.
but they were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there. But what are you gonna do? That we can get into our weekends right now, I
Let's
guess.
do it, man.
I did go over to my parents' house as I usually do to watch the games, and most of my brothers came over. All my brothers came over actually, so we had all the brothers there watching, and
Sweet.
my mom made some green chili pizza, which is delicious.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll
I
have
have
to bring you
never
some.
had that. That sounds awesome.
I'll have to bring you some. She'll be mad I've never shared it with you, but
That
it is really good.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, my mom makes good green chili. You throw that on a pizza, it's hard to beat.
Oh,
But
man.
we had green chili pizza. We watched a fairly entertaining first half, and then by the second half, everybody was just like, "Son of a, like, what are we gonna
Sucks,
go on
man.
today?"
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty good time. Other than that, though, taking it kind of easy this weekend.
How's the back doing? You feel
Back's
better?
back.
Good.
Well, I still got a little pain, but I can stand up straight at least. That's half the battle.
You can sit up without groaning.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Good.
back on that. We got birthday shenanigans this weekend, turning the big
That's
3-8 on
It's a
Friday.
big deal.
Yeah, and then we got a show Saturday night at Bar 404 right there on Broadway.
Cool.
Right off like Spear and Broadway. We're playing. It's a chick who usually is down at a lot of shows downtown. Her name's Andrea.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of a big deal with her turning.
Yeah,
big
she's
4-0
throwing the
and-
big 4-0,
Yeah.
so they're throwing her a big party.
That's
and
cool.
there's going to be some karaoke and 3 bands playing, so it should be a good time.
Awesome.
But unfortunately, when we booked the show, we did not know that there was going to be an Arctic blast coming in.
Super
The
unfortunate.
world's ending. We've got an Arctic
Yeah.
blast coming in here. LA's gone,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah, it's what are you gonna do?
The world is chaotic. That
It
is
is
for sure right now.
Stuff's happening right
Yeah.
now.
What are you gonna do for your birthday? You said Friday night you got some shenanigans going on.
Probably not much. My parents are probably just gonna take me out to dinner. Other than that, I don't know really what else we got going on. I'm kind of parlaying everything into Saturday.
There you go. You gonna go to your favorite spot? Maybe Long John Silver.
Yeah, probably hit up some Long Johns.
Dude, that fried chicken's good. Yeah. Arby's maybe.
Arby's, yeah, if they still had
Where
the
would you
5 for
choose?
5,
Yeah, dude.
I would
We've
be
talked
there.
about that.
dude.
And how it was awesome back in the day, man.
Go get 5 beef sandwiches.
As a growing boy at 12 years old, I was like, let me get 2 of those.
Yeah. You can get 2 sandwiches, a fry, a drink, and something else.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no.
Where would you choose?
I don't know yet. There's this new hot pot place over by my parents' house. I don't know if you ever gone to one of those places.
Is it kind of like pho? Like what?
I think it's kind of like pho, but it's like there's like a pot of stuff in the middle of the table, and you're like cooking stuff in it. It's almost
whoa.
like I think it's like Asian fondue.
Very cultured. I like
Yeah,
it.
I
Good
like to
answer.
stay cultured.
Yes. Nice.
But there's also this ramen place we go to over in
yeah, you do like that place. I know you
Louisville. Yeah, we've
talked
gone
about
there a
that.
few times. But yeah, I don't know yet.
Yep.
Something. We'll figure it out.
Sweet,
Yeah.
man. Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, what about you? What's your weekend got going?
Well, this weekend, yeah, the Arctic Blast does kind of suck because we plan on going to Dawn's on Saturday, and we're basically like, if we can have an Uber get there safely and feel confident about it, we'll be all right. But if it looks like it's a death trap, like we may stay back.
Yeah.
I haven't not watched a Chiefs playoff game at Dawn's, and I can't think of the last time. Probably since that. No. Yeah, it was I can't even think of the last time. It's been like 7 or 8 years now, even past Patrick Mahomes. So it's got to happen.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing.
I know. Well, this last weekend, it was a pretty good weekend. We went and hung out with our good friends Alex Beal and Sarah Beal, now that they're married, and we went to go to Fire on the Mountain.
Fire on the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
The wing place, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One of the guys from MF Ruckus is like the GM at one of those.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if like that's
It's the one down there in
off, Logan.
maybe.
Yeah, not the one in the Highlands.
Oh no, that's the one he works at.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's the one I used to go to all the time. But yeah, it was great food, man. Really good. Like I introduced Sarah and Alex to like using the cheese dip, not for the chips, but with the fries. That's a game changer.
Next
Their
level.
fries are so good. Man.
Yeah.
They're so greasy. But yeah, we just had a blast with them, dude. We as like old people, we always talk about how we always like pass out so early, especially on Fridays. We got home about like 1:20. It was nuts.
You're like, shh.
I
It's
felt,
tomorrow.
I felt like a pretty cool person, but no, yeah, we went out. Then they showed us this bar after Fire the Mountain called Candlelight Tavern. Really cool dive bar. You've ever been there? It's really cool.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know if I have been. Where is it at?
It's pretty close to that area of. I mean, I guess wherever Fire on the Mountain's at, it's like 3 blocks away.
Oh, okay, within walking distance.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
It's off like so Fire on the Mountain's off like Alameda and Logan, and then so it's like 3 blocks east of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Right.
yeah, it was really cool.
Nice.
Super dive kind of Cheers kind of vibe to it.
That's my type of place.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Chris would dig this.
Yeah.
Then after that, they took us back to their place in an Uber so we could finally check out their house. And we basically just kept drinking and putting on YouTube videos of like concerts and rocking out
Sometimes you got to, dude.
all the time. Good people,
that
man.
was
We
like
love those guys.
quintessential back in the day in high school. It was me and Jason would hang out and drink and watch YouTube music videos.
Dude,
Just-
when I used to hang out with Josh Sachs, that's what we do all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just like listen, like you'd be like, you heard of this? You heard of this?
yeah, I remember when Comcast first got like on demand and they had like music videos.
Oh man.
We would go to parties, and if they had Comcast, me and Jason would just sit there and watch music videos while
Nice.
everybody was partying.
Like, we're here for the entertainment.
Yeah,
we don't care
We're
about you
here
guys.
for your streaming service.
Oh yeah.
Not all of us have 6 of these like we will here in a few years.
It's fun, man. They were just like jamming out to like Puddle of Mud and stuff.
Oh, hell
Like,
yeah,
man,
dude.
It's great. Yeah, they got Hannah and Beal have a pretty similar music taste, and so we all vibe like that. It was great.
The like
but-
2000s rock.
Exactly. Yeah. All over the place, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Good times though. But man,
Nice.
she was pretty hungover on Saturday. We hadn't drank that much in a minute.
She partied hard. Put him
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, well, that champagne's got so much sugar in it, man. It'll do it to you.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know how we used to drink Fireball all the time. It's
Oh,
just like sugar.
all-
It's just
dude, as
sugar
much as-
syrup.
We used to drink
Bottles.
I guess we could say this now. Yeah, we used to drink bottles of whiskey and like Canadian Miss until we get those. So it's like I don't know
The
how.
walk-in was a pretty cool hangout.
Hell yeah, it was, dude, until Dean found it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And then
Yeah.
Atticus got in trouble.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Had to be
Well,
that damn hippie.
yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, that's
pretty-
cool.
Then I did play your nephew again in Madden and got smoked.
Oh, you're playing
yeah.
my nephew?
No, not your nephew.
Oh, your nephew. I was
Her
like, my
nephew.
nephew. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
Got beat by a 10-year-old, man.
Yeah.
It was like 83 to 59 or something. It was like
Oh,
a
wow.
basketball
Well,
score.
you guys must have played like regular 15-minute
That's
quarters.
what I don't get. It was regular 5-minute quarter. Or no, I think we bumped it up to 6-minute quarters, and then the accelerated clock was off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
Yeah, you can get some high scoring games if you try and go like
Yeah,
if you went like 15-minute quarters, the games would be like 100 and something.
dude, there's so many possessions. It's not like
Is he player control like picking you off all the time.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, dropping back with the cornerback.
He's a smart kid, man. He's a 10-year-old, but he reads at like a 14-year-old level and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like the teacher has to give him extra work because he's extra smart. So I feel the pain of that when it comes to Madden because it translates,
Yeah, he's just like, I know the schemes.
Exactly. He's like, oh, there's
I know
no
what
two.
you're running.
Cover three. Like, shit, how does he know? It was funny.
Too high shell.
It wasn't fair though because he was playing in with the Chiefs, and so they're like, it's an updated roster since it's online.
Yeah,
so they're really fucking good. And at one point, Travis caught a pass and like ran for like 30 yards, and he says, "Man, I wish Travis was this fast in real life."
Yeah,
I just started laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you ain't wrong.
They're usually good about adding guys. Like if they do good stuff, they'll bump up their ratings. They're not so good about dropping down the ratings.
No,
because I think Travis probably needs to come down a couple pegs.
It's pretty nuts that he's at 99. I mean, he does get open, but once he catches it, he ain't going nowhere.
Nah, yeah, but hey, I mean, but what are you gonna do?
He's one of the goats.
He's
man.
one of the goats. He is the
right.
goat technically now.
In some categories,
point.
yep.
No, so
yeah, all right. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sunday, just watch football all day long. It was great, man.
Yeah. I was trying to think of anything else this weekend. Oh, I did have something crazy happen. I went to go buy a practice amp because I'm been at the office so much, and I'm down in my workroom now. Occasionally, I'm bringing some guitars and stuff down there so I can like have my own area there too. Because it's hard to be creative at home. Because like for one, our house is super small, so like everything is in like one room. Yeah, so it doesn't feel like I have like a creative area. I'm like, this is the couch where I sit, and here's my guitar and stuff. And then I sit down, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit on the couch, and then I don't play guitar. So I'm like trying to be more creative actively. But I went and I got this pretty rad amp for like half of. It was brand new in the box. Got it for half off, like $70, and
Sweet.
I go meet the lady, and Meryl said I should probably start like another podcast or something about all of the people I meet buying crazy shit on Facebook Marketplace.
Just do like a solo one.
Because in 3 months, I have now gone on 2 complete tours of people's houses that I am buying shit from on
Why
Facebook
do they
Marketplace.
take you on tours?
I don't know, dude. I got Meryl this like witch sign for Christmas. And it was like in November. It was just like a little like Wicked Witch Avenue thing. Okay. Just like a stocking stuffer present. And I go meet the lady, and she's like, "Come on in." And I'm like, "Damn it, I just want to get this and get out of here." And then she's like, she painted her house like medieval style, and like each room had like crazy stuff. Like her bathroom was like, it looked like the top of like one of the terraces inside. Sweet. And then like she had like her kitchen was like the potion area and like the crazy stuff. And so I go on this full tour of her house, and then it was Saturday, I go meet this lady. Turns out she might be the biggest Cheap Trick fan in Colorado, maybe in the United States. She's been to over 400 Cheap Trick shows.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And she's been friends with the lead singer since she was 14.
What
and like
the hell?
she's had multiple personalized license plates on like 5 different cars that all say his name, Xander.
Oh
and like,
man, this is nuts.
Yeah, like
it's so random.
It's so random. So like I pull up, and it's like an apartment complex, and she's like, just come upstairs. And I was like, God damn it, I'm gonna die. This is where I die.
You get poisoned.
And I go up the stairs, and there's like this Romanian family that lives across the way from her that just has the door open, like just living, and their kids are like eating like lunch. Yeah, like super European. Anyway, I knock on her door, and Stacy was her name. She opens it, and she's like, "Shut your fucking door!" And I was like, "Holy shit!" And then she's like, "Do you want to come in?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I guess." And then I walk in, and like I start looking around. There's like shit all over the walls. And I'm like, "What is all this?" And then I turn, and like a whole wall is just Cheap Trick stuff.
Oh man, and that is so crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
super weird. And she's got like all kinds of signed records by all the bands.
Name the most famous Cheap Trick song.
Surrender.
Okay. I'll have to hear it now.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a bunch of Cheap Trick songs, but
I know there's like one that's like a super famous one.
There's the one now I can't think of it because we're on the spot, but yeah.
It's so nuts when you meet those people that are like really into like a band that most other people just feel like it's like,
like most people like I love Cheap Trick, but like nowadays Cheap Trick just opens for everybody else.
But for someone to like follow them like that and to go,
I want you to want me.
Nice.
That's the one.
Okay.
I want you, want me.
Good call.
But yeah, like normally, like Heart will come on tour and Cheap Trick will open. I've gone to a concert before where I just went to see Cheap Trick open and then I left.
Oh wow, that's hilarious.
I was like, I don't even care about who.
Dude, so serendipitous.
Yeah, it was. And then like, it's just so. I was in her house for 45 minutes, dude.
Jesus.
So she's like, take a seat.
That's funny.
She gave me a mint when I left. She's like, would you like a mint?
That's perfect.
I'm pretty sure she might have been drunk.
I bet she was drinking a potion.
She probably not. This is a different lady. So this is two different ladies.
Jesus.
This is 2 times that this has happened. I've gone.
Oh, so the Cheap Trick and then the witch thing.
The
was
witch
different.
one was
okay,
different.
I got
yeah,
you.
sorry, I probably should have specified. But yeah, super weird. Just these strange situations. I mean, I've probably talked about that before on the podcast where like we'll be out and about and I feel like people will like see me and be like, I'm going to go tell that guy my entire life story
It
right
does
now.
happen, man. Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. It's like I show up and they're like, hey, you look like you want to hear my whole life story. Come sit down in my apartment for 45 minutes.
Dude, maybe it just showed you're a good listener.
Maybe.
Yeah,
They just, I'm welcoming.
And you have good luck with Facebook Marketplace, man.
I do.
I've been trying to sell that leather recliner down there for like 2 weeks now and nothing.
Selling stuff's hard. Buying stuff,
that's easy.
Not so bad.
Yeah. Do you want a recliner? You want to buy that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But now it's you need a leather recliner. You know, we got one downstairs.
This is my last outlet to try.
Use the podcast.
That's what I would say.
But yeah, let's get into the NFL and the hot headlines because we got to make a phone call here in 13 minutes. But
all right,
here we go.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
Yeah, as we know, the biggest headlines, of course, was Super Wildcard Weekend. But
you're not supposed to say super anymore. They took that off.
But I like it because it's dumb.
Yeah.
Super.
I think that's why they were
Weekend.
like, why did we do that?
Yeah, we already have the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I know. I like
So
saying
now
it 'cause
they
it's
like
funny.
made all the NFL employees
Super
make sure they don't say it.
Wildcard Weekend. But yeah, so Wildcard Weekend was not very eventful. I mean, it kind of went how we thought it would.
Other than the Bucks and Commanders game,
The rest of them, the scores probably look closer than they were. The Broncos was a blowout, obviously. But yeah, the rest of the scores, like some of those were garbage time scores, especially like Pittsburgh coming back down there and down the line to make that game somewhat competitive. But yeah, it was a surprise. I thought there was going to be a couple more upsets.
Me too. I really was surprised by the Chargers.
Everybody was. I think in I don't know if you jumped in on that bracket thing, but everybody picked the Chargers to win. Like everybody.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I did a 6-team parlay or 6-game parlay of all of them, and I think I got 3 of them right, 2 or 3. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's that's what's great about it. I always say like the wild card weekend is my favorite weekend. Maybe not because of the best games, but because of the upsets, man. I mean, there's these teams like the Commanders. That was it 2006 the last time they were in.
7,000 days since they last were in the playoffs.
And then the Lions, number 1 seed. I mean, I know they were in the playoffs last year, but like it's just great. I mean, they didn't play last weekend, but it's just you're getting the Lions and the Commanders.
Yeah,
it's the AFC. Dude, I saw something crazy today that every AFC coach has a connection to Andy Reid. He's like the godfather.
AFC.
D'Amico Ryans played for him when he was on the Eagles. That's the one I didn't realize. Because John Harbaugh and Sean McDermott obviously were coordinators.
Because I was trying to think how Sean Payton and him were they on the
other ones left.
Oh, I thought you meant all of them. I'm like, that, I guess.
No, not Sean Payton. But it's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
He's 10 degrees.
10 degrees of Andy Reid.
But then let's get into just some of the coaching fires, and then we'll probably have to revisit the NFL here in a minute.
Well, here, let's hit this real quick.
Yep, do it.
Are you ready for some football?
Yes, some people will be finding new homes and others return to their home. As the coaching fires and hires start rolling out. We talked about Black Monday last week. There wasn't as many coaching fires as I thought there was going to be, but now we have a few solidified answers. Jerry Jones finally decides, I guess, after acting like he was going to back Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is out as the two sides could not come together on a contract extension.
Crazy, man. We actually have a Cowboys vacancy, and talks of Prime. Is it going to happen? No.
Yeah, everybody thinks that he's just using this to kind of play one in against the other, so to speak, to get more money from CU. I mean, they did say he talked to Jerry Jones, but nothing.
He also used the words intriguing. He said he talked to him
sure
and had an intriguing talk.
This
exactly.
was very intriguing.
That's what was intriguing, yep.
And also, I heard some crazy thing where, there could be some trade.
Yeah,
with
so they
Tennessee,
trade Dak to Tennessee, and then Tennessee
a whole bunch
would
of other
trade,
stuff.
Yeah, the number 1 pick and all of this other shit.
Yeah, there's like next year's first round, some seconds,
but the
whole
Titans,
bunch of stuff.
The Titans did just fire their GM, so you never know. It's hard to predict what could happen.
Yeah, I mean that does seem like a pretty likely thing. I don't know if I don't see Jerry Jones allowing Prime. We saw what happened with him in the 90s. He did not like when a head coach was more of a spectacle than he was.
There is that.
Jimmy Johnson.
Or he's realized, like, his sons have kind of, like, talked some sense into him.
The error of his ways.
Exactly. He's like, you know what? It's time to mix it up. Let's go with flashy, prime time.
Hey, Prime was a cowboy.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the thing is I don't know how they're going to spin getting Shador there. I don't know. But anything's possible.
Dude, I mean, I think an easy one is you trade Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Or you do the Tennessee thing with Dak, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. There's a lot of moving parts in that one, and Jerry Jones has a tendency to screw stuff up, so we shall see. But the other big news, tell us, Chad.
Mike Vrabel heads home.
Yes,
yep.
He is now the head coach of the New England Patriots, former Patriot linebacker
and receiver.
Oh yeah, he did catch some.
He was 8 for 8 every time he caught a pass. Or he got thrown.
Yep. Yeah, so he goes back. I think he was an assistant there at one point too, but maybe I'm wrong.
I can't remember if he was or not.
But yeah, Vrabel, turned around Tennessee and put it basically where it is today. Unfortunately, they just never had a quarterback situation that would put them anywhere other than middle of the pack. But it's. I think it's a good thing. The Patriots need a culture change, and that's kind of what he brought to Tennessee. And it'll be interesting to see if he can follow in the successor's footsteps, so to speak.
Oh, it's gonna be nuts. Yeah, I mean, what coordinator is he gonna choose? Like that's a big one. You had Arthur Smith that was under him for a while at Tennessee. Now he's gone. So.
Who knows what's going on in Pittsburgh? Arthur Smith could be available again.
That's true.
Because there's rumors now, although Mike Tomlin has shot them down, that there's possible trade type situations, coach trade.
I bet they.
But that was supposed to be with McCarthy, so I don't know where they would go with that now.
I really think they will give because Pitt just doesn't do that.
Or do you trade Sirianni for Tomlin?
Oh no! In Pennsylvania trade, that'd be nuts. Oh my god!
But yeah, no, I don't know what's gonna happen there. But yeah, the fans are pissed. I've heard a lot of people calling for his head in terms of Pittsburgh Steeler land because 8 straight years now they have not won a playoff game.
He's 0-6 in his last playoff,
but they always are winning teams.
He never has a losing season.
Yeah,
got that.
That they don't make it much farther than that.
You can bring that to the negotiating table.
Yeah. I always win enough
to get us there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that one was. We'll see.
Let's shift gears a little bit. What do you think of? We got 6 minutes here. What did you think of Vance Joseph and Sean Payton getting into it on the sideline?
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like that wasn't Sean Payton's guy because Vance was here before we hired Sean. Mm-hmm. So I do kind of feel like there is a little bit of animosity there, especially with the way things ended going down the stretch where the defense kind of fell by the wayside, so to speak. But I honestly think that was just a product of the offense not being able to hold up its side of the bargain, and that became readily apparent in the playoff game. I mean, the defense held them to 3 points into this. No, it was 7-3.
Yeah,
and then it was going to be 10-10. But yeah, they. I don't know.
I mean, dude, the time of possession says it all.
40 minutes
to 18.
Yeah.
42 to 18.
Well, I think James Cook and Josh Allen both had like 111 yards by the second quarter.
I mean, they were running the ball a lot.
Well, and you saw a lot of what happened too, especially with Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper. They are very undersized guys, and you're going up against one of the bigger offensive lines in terms of average size, and they got pushed around. I mean, they did get there. They got Josh Allen, I believe, was 2 sacks.
Yeah, they did.
So, and that's
that's what I ask, is because the big point of it is, I am shocked, and I don't know. Who knows what the argument is? We'll probably never know, but I just felt like that was pretty unprofessional, because Vance Joseph is kind of what helped you get to the playoffs, man.
If it wasn't for him,
really suffered in the last few weeks.
Yeah, the offense fell by the wayside, and the defense, I think, just kind of shot their wad, so to speak, trying to keep them in games. And I think you just saw the bending now just turning to breaking. So Vance Joseph is going to probably go be, I don't know for sure. The Raiders and the Jets are both interviewing him, so we'll see.
I've seen he's got a couple interviews,
but I don't know. He's not a very good head coach. We've seen that.
Well, that's why I'm really hoping Spags doesn't leave us, dude. I will be very distraught if that happens.
Yeah, there's a good chance he will, because there's going to be a lot of people looking for good defensive coordinators.
He finished up his interview with the Jets, and that's where he's from, is Jersey. So
Joycey.
Yep.
Joycey.
But if that does happen, I'd want Lou Anarumo.
Oh, the Lou Anarumo from the Bengals.
Yeah, he interviewed for that Falcons defensive job today.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's definitely going to be some shakeups this year. And there's a lot to be left to come down the pike as we wait for teams to keep getting knocked out and people to start getting interviewed and stuff, because that's basically what everybody's waiting for, is because most of the time you can't interview or talk to these guys until either they get a bye week in the playoffs. Sometimes, like if you're in the Super Bowl, they'll let you go interview on those 2 weeks. But yeah, they're pretty much waiting for everything to kind of shake out here and see how things fall, and then we'll see a lot more movement. So that's where we're at right now, the old wait and see phase.
Oh yeah.
So well, we got a couple minutes here.
Well, I think we could use this couple minutes to just kind of go ahead. This is a guest worth kind of giving a little rundown.
Okay, give him a rundown.
And a preview for our listeners out there.
Yes.
So, let me pull up his Twitter real quick. I got his wiki pulled up. We are having on Anthony Armstrong. He is former NFL wide receiver for the Commanders. He also played for the Dolphins for a short stint. Then I think it was the Saints was one of his last teams.
Yeah.
Yep. But he's also a real estate agent. He's got a man of many hats, and he also, like Chris said, hosts that podcast, the Believe in Commanders podcast, and yeah, he's got a pretty good following. He's followed by Robert Griffin III, NFL on CBS. He's got 17,000 followers. He's a great personality. I listened to his podcast today. Really entertaining, because he was very open about how wild he gets while he's watching these Commanders games. You see his his posts, he is like that. He said after the Hail Mary one, he went and ran up and down the street, and it's like, hell, he's just a fan like all of us, man. Love it. But
yeah, no, it's definitely super cool. This is our first former NFL player, so
yes, indeed.
It'll be a first of many, let's hope,
That's right.
Let's hope this is far from the last one as we start checking off the boxes on things we want to accomplish.
Yeah, we're going to have on many more coming forward, because, names and subscribers just keep going up.
That's the whole thing, man. That's what we're doing here.
That's right.
I was trying to see. I think him and RG3 might have been teammates for a brief time.
He played there in 2010, is what I saw. So he was getting passes thrown to him by Rex Gross.
Oh, it was right before then.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well.
But would
almost.
Shanahan be the coach?
Yes, he was with Shanny. Yeah.
So
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
I saw where Jade Gruden kind of, in that game last night with Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay, the commentators were, of course, we, this team came from the Commander's staff. They were all on that, Kyle Shanahan thing. And Jay Gruden had a good tweet. It was like, yeah, I was the one that hired him. You don't even mention me.
If it wasn't for me, nobody would know.
Jay Gruden's funny, man.
He is pretty funny. All right, here we go. Anthony Armstrong. Kicked in.
Hello, this is Anthony. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, Anthony? You got Chris Zane here.
And this is Chad, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hello?
I think we just had him.
Anthony?
All right, hey, let me turn this on speakerphone so I got the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Can you hear us?
All right, got me?
Yep.
Yeah,
You
we
got us?
you, man. Cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, man. Congrats to your Commanders.
Oh, appreciate it. It feels good to still be talking about football right now. Usually it's draft and like what's next and what's wrong, you know. So it's different over here for once.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm a Broncos fan, and it's been a while for us too. And although it was short lived, it's definitely fun to just be talking about football in the playoffs, especially when it's your team.
Oh.
Well, it's been a magical season for you, man. And quoting your words actually from the podcast that you said today, on your most recent one, I mean, you had the Hail Mary earlier this year. You guys had some epic wins. Jaden Daniels had a bunch of fourth quarter comebacks. And then you have this playoff win. I mean, I loved how candid you were on your podcast, how you were just like, this just warm feeling, you know, it's just great. I'm happy for you, man. It's great to see those teams that haven't kind of been it. Oh, no. I think
We lost him.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe it's his connection or something.
Might have had a bad connection.
Goddamn Graham.
And he just had a great little, question there.
Soliloquy.
He did. A good soliloquy. Let me try calling him again here.
All right.
Calls.
Maybe you didn't like what I had to say.
Oh. Hey,
Call
Anthony.
from.
Oh.
It's Anthony Armstrong.
Anthony, we're back.
Yeah, I'm gonna decline the other one. We good?
Oh, yeah, we're good. Sorry, we tried to call you back, but all right, we're back now.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Chad, hit him with your question.
Okay.
Again, it was great.
Yeah. So my question for you, man, is basically how did you feel, man? I couldn't help whenever I was looking into these Commanders podcasts and I found the Believe Commanders one and they sent me your information. I go through and I was looking at your Twitter and I see your reaction watching that game. You, for one, I noticed you're a former NFL player and you have this awesome reaction, just like you're a fan, like high-fiving the phone, calling it a touchdown. I mean, right after the doink, man. I mean, like, you still got to be living on cloud nine, right?
Man, I've been cheesing all week. Yeah, I'll come down a little bit, but we're still feeling good, right? And I mean, the player in me is like, all right, hey, refocus. It's Saturday. The game's on Saturday. You got to focus on the team at hand, so on and so forth. But I mean, it feels good, and I've been telling folks like this is the first team I've like really cheered for, even being away from the game now for over 10 years. Well, 10 years now. Like I've been following this team for the past couple of years, but like now I'm like invested. You know what I mean? I'm really with it. You know, proud to have worn the colors in the uniform, and I love seeing the success on the field.
Yeah, I definitely could understand that, having played for them. So that kind of is a question I had. So it looks like, you were born in Indiana. What kind of led to you being such a big Commanders fan? Was it your time spent there while playing that you kind of wanted to really dive into them and cover them later on and for this podcast, or what kind of led to that?
Yeah, man. I mean, being in Indiana, that was mostly just parents. You know, you don't have much say when you're that young, so you just kind of pop out where you at. But I consider myself a Texan. But I mean, I was in the Cowboys organization. I was a part of the Desperados. I know up in Colorado, y'all used to have the Colorado Force, I think it was, something like that, in the Arena Football League.
So
like they were
Crush,
associated with the Crush. Yep. That's right. That Force was in Chicago. Mm-hmm. So either way, like they were connected. So I was associated with the Cowboys before, but they didn't pick me up, and I ended up making my way up to Washington by way of Miami and a practice squad, and 3 years of Arena League prior to that. So getting to Washington was just simply by fate and just how things rolled out. The fandom and cheering for the team is just, that's where people, they accepted me. You know what I mean? A kid that's just living a dream, and then now you're in the league. You know what I mean? Like, you look around, those folks still support you. So that's why I'm cheering for that squad.
That's cool, man.
That's
I
awesome,
love
yeah.
that, dude. Especially with this new ownership group. I'm sure you got to be happy with the move with Josh Harris and then, of course, Magic Johnson coming through.
Yeah.
They've really turned that organization around. It's, I like the colors, too. I mean, the uniforms are cool, dude. And then now you got Jaden Daniels, this superstar. I mean, this kid, I think he's got a real chance against the Lions, man. I know that's a real tough defense, but, the Bucks had a fully healthy defense too. They had Jamel Dean. He did get hurt early, but they had Antoine Winfield back. They had Levante David. But on that, here's a good example. It's like when I was rewatching it, the 3rd and 1 with like less than a minute to go to put them in field goal range was so nuts because he does a play fake in I formation. I think it was pistol, and then he spins like 2 or 3 seconds behind the line of scrimmage before he takes off. It's just death by 1,000 cuts in a sense,
Yeah, oh yeah, he is talented. I mean, is it with his arm? Is it with his feet? I mean, he'd rather throw it. That's from everything I've learned from just talking to different people through the off season. He'd rather dice you up with his arm, but if he has to use his feet, he will. But I think he relishes those game-winning touchdown throws more than the scrambles.
Oh, I bet so. Yeah. Especially that Hail Mary.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Pretty much ended the Bears' season.
Yeah, just put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, quick tumble.
One thing this year that hasn't, I guess, been a huge upside has been the running game, so to speak. It has been a little lackluster, but with Jaden Daniels, you don't have to worry about it as much. And thankfully, Terry McLaurin has been having one hell of a year this year, and especially in the game on Sunday. 7 receptions, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Terry McLaurin is turning into one of the better wide receivers in the league, and it's been fun to watch. Oh no, we lost him again. Damn.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
you're
listening
here.
to you. No, I'm here.
That was
I'm
weird.
listening to this eloquent question you asked me, Terry.
No, we
Terry
heard.
McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is top 10 in this league. He's just so damn underrated, man.
Oh,
Like,
he's scary Terry,
he has had
man.
nobody throwing him the rock, right? Nobody's been throwing him the ball. He's had so many quarterbacks back there. The kid hasn't complained, but all he does is go out there and make big plays. So to see him out there like smiling like he is, like you feel like a proud parent, like a proud older brother. Like, man, he's out there doing it. Like he's been patient through all the years and the turmoil, and now he's getting to reap some benefits in the All Pro selection, Pro Bowl selection. Hey, I'm excited to see where this thing can go because it can get better.
Well, you look at the upside just this year one. You can only imagine. But yeah, it's been fun to watch, and I'm sure just being a wide receiver yourself, it's been fun to see. But the thing I really like, and you mentioned it, is the fact that he's kept a good head on his shoulders all through all the ups and downs, and case in point, George Pickens over there in Pittsburgh. I don't know what they do when they pick receivers, but they are just terrible at picking wide receivers.
Chase Claypool.
Antonio Brown.
Deontay Johnson,
Yeah, speaking of Deontay Johnson, just released again by Houston.
That's
so,
right.
But yeah, it's really good to see, and I think that's the one nice thing about the Commanders is they're just a bunch of good dudes, and you want to root for them.
Yeah, they've definitely changed the culture up there, and Terry sets that standard of what you want your player to be. Like, you just say, go follow 17, and you're going to have a good group of guys. And now you have Dan Quinn, and just the way that the whole thing's been constructed, it makes sense, right? It's strategic. And frankly, hey, sometimes you got to get lucky. When everything falls into place in 1 year with the salary cap and you just start hitting on everything that you do for a little bit, you got a little Midas touch. But we don't apologize for that over here. You know what I mean? So we just continue to ride the wave and make the most out of this thing because I think they still got some juice left in the tank.
Oh, I bet so, man. With that momentum, you never know what they could do. The Lions are banged up a little bit on defense. They've been bouncing back a little bit, but they still got a lot of backups back there. But I just want to touch one more thing on Scary Terry because I saw this on Twitter. I just thought it was so cool. How about that reaction once that field goal doinked in? It looked like 1,000 pounds got lifted off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was pretty happy to see that.
Oh yeah, no, he's this man. I don't know. I know what y'all saw. My reaction was like, I know they were feeling that same thing. I mean, I was feeling for Zane Gonzalez as many times as he touched his head before he put on his helmet.
Yeah,
To see that
apparently he
ball
has
leap
OCD
off
or
to the
something.
right,
Yeah, I guess he's got OCD, so
that's okay.
yeah.
Hey,
That's
whatever you
okay.
got to do to kick it through
OCD.
the uprights, right?
Maybe just aim a little to the left
Hey,
next time.
hey man, just stay with your same process. Don't 10,
Touch your head as
12
many
times
times as you
seconds,
need.
whatever it is.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, a big weekend coming up, man. The Lions are going to be a tough battle. What do you think that Washington's going to need to do in order to pull this one out? Because it is going to be the upset of the year if they do.
Yeah, it will, and one thing I can say is it's just like any given Sunday, people still got to show up and strap it up and play ball. But, Washington still has to beat themselves. Now, that's cliche, but you got to understand you're going up against a very potent offense. And one thing I love about what Washington has been doing this year is that they've won in a multitude of ways, right? The offense has done the heavy lifting. The defense has done the heavy lifting. The offense has given up 5 turnovers and figured out how to win. Meanwhile, the defense shuts down Saquon Barkley in the second half. So there's been these moments of greatness from each side that gives me the confidence going into this game that, hey, they're going to be used to whatever adversity that there is. I think the spread is now close to 10. It might be 10 points now. It started at 8.5. I mean, the level of disrespect is high. I don't know why the spread is going up there like that, but these guys have won a multitude of ways. You know what I mean? So when you get up there, you're gonna have a plan for what you try to do against this offense. I mean, they are talented. Let's be real. They scored 50 twice, 40, high 40s a couple of times, and they'll put it on your ass if you let them. But you got some guys who don't care who's on the other side of the screen. Dan Quinn said it: anybody, any place, anytime. That's how they're going into this stadium, into this matchup. It's like, hey, what do you do? Show up and play your best ball, and then let the chips fall where they may. And I know that when you have 5 back there, you got a chance. You have a chance. And you got Bobby Wagner on that defense, Marshawn Lattimore over there. There's some playmakers.
Hall of Fame.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore's been a dog this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's had a couple of rough bouts just coming back, but he's still an impactful player that you got to account for, right? Like, it's not like you're going against a whole bunch of Swiss cheese secondary. Like, you got to pay attention to where he is because, hey, if you can force a turnover, now the Lions have won a game with 5 turnovers.
Yep.
They beat the Texans like that. So just winning the turnover battle isn't going to be enough, but if you're able to steal possessions from a high-powered offense, that's helpful. Think touchdowns over field goals, that's helpful. I'm looking for them to be probably a little aggressive like they were against Tampa Bay. Go for it on a 4th down because they understand that they really don't want to give the ball back to this offense if they have to. So time of possession will be their friend as well. But I do know that Washington has the ability and Detroit has the liability, or they've shown the ability to give up a lot of points. So if this is a shootout, then hey, I think Washington is up for it. But I'd rather it not be that type of game.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the thing about the Lions. They're a tough team to beat in a shootout. They just got so much firepower on offense.
Oh yeah, I think it all starts with Jahmyr Gibbs. That dude is so fast. I mean, he's called Sonic for a reason. If there's any way, I mean, Bobby Wagner's done this the best, with his time with Seattle, and then even that year with the Rams. I mean, he may not be the one to be making the tackles because he ain't fast enough, but he's going to be the one making the calls and the play calls. But if there's any way that they could stifle Jahmyr Gibbs, I think that's the first step into kind of like dismantling that amazing offense.
I like where you're going because you got to pick something. You got to pick something. And frankly, Jahmyr is going to be standing in one place for the most part. But I've been very impressed with the way Ben Johnson has moved everybody around and has always found 4 or 5 new wrinkles and plays that they're able to put into the playbook. And Washington has to be aware of that, right? Like, go back to the game against the Well, it was the game against the Bears, and then they emulated or simulated the play where Jordan Love and the running back fumbled and stumbled, and they threw a touchdown off of that, right? So Washington, you got to be on your P's and Q's because these guys are going to have 5 plays that you're not ready for, you know. And the one thing for Detroit is that they hit on those. In this league, you only get so many shots. You only have so many haymakers. And Detroit's been doing a hell of a job of capitalizing on those. If you can make them go, you know, 1 for 5 on big shots rather than 3 for 5, 4 for 5, now you got yourself a game because Washington can play second half football, and they've made some of the best adjustments in the past few weeks that I've seen in a long while.
Well, I mean, speaking of adjustments, a lot of that comes down to OC Cliff Kingsbury, sorry, and he's done an amazing job with this Washington offense. And I know he did not do so well out there in Arizona. Maybe being a head coach isn't his thing, but there are some openings now. And with what he's done with Jaden Daniels, basically now turning him into, I don't see anybody beating him for Rookie of the Year at this point, especially now with the playoff win. But do you think Cliff Kingsbury is going to stick around for another year? Or do you think he might go test the water, so to speak, out there?
You know what? I think that he deserves the opportunity to go on some interviews and see what's out there. But he said it in the interview with John Kime. He's like, it's going to be tough to lead this kid, and it's not about the money anymore, you know. And that's frankly that's a good thing when you get to remove that dynamic and you can go into it with open mindset of like, what is this situation going to look like? Is it going to be something I want to be a part of right now? But ideally, I say don't leave yet, man. Don't leave yet, Cliff, because I think the offense still has something that can grow. I think Jaden has more that he can be. You add another receiver over there via free agency or the draft. You add another running back, somebody that's going to be much more of a home run hitter. Hey, man, now you're thinking this team is going to consistently be in the playoffs, start having a deep run, and maybe something happens, you get a trophy in the next few years. But I'd love to keep Cliff Kingsbury in the fold and just build on what they already got going on this first year, because this is something that's special. And with the way the turnover is in the league, it doesn't last that long. So I think you got to find a way to stick together and capitalize.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look what Washington average points per game last year is 19.4. That's good for 25th. This season, they're 5th with an average of 28.5. So if going up is in the cards, they're going to be an upper echelon offense come next year.
Yeah, I need them up there. I need them to be up, hanging up at the top. Because I mean, the thing is about the league, though, is that people are going to study you, right? And they're going to see what your tendencies are. They already know what you run, but then they start to understand how you read it. Like how does a certain quarterback go through this progression? That's the type of detail that teams have. So when you see a quarterback have a sophomore season that's kind of a slump, so if Bo Nix has a slight step back, don't fret. Like that's kind of a part of it. He has to take his game to the next level, and not just him specifically, but any rookie going into their second year player. You got to take your game to the next level because people are honing in on your weaknesses. They're honing in on the predictable side of things, and once you can break those routines, then that's when you have success. That's what the great ones do.
You're absolutely right. The sophomore slump is there for a reason.
And speaking of the great ones, I wanted to bring up this stat. I had to share this on our social media yesterday because I saw this come across, and it seemed hard to believe. This is just insane. Rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels has more games in his career where his team has 0 punts and 0 turnovers than the combined careers of Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes. More than the 4 GOATs. That's
wow,
outrageous.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, and he had
that's insane.
Yeah, he had multiple games this year where there were no punts. I mean, I think Caleb Williams should have kept his mouth shut, and it should have been Jaden maybe telling his punter that.
Yeah, you're not gonna be punting too much.
Hey, you know what, man? To go from Tress Way to having to be one of the best, if not the best punter in the league, to the least used punter in the league, that's a hell of a stat. And when you watch the game, you don't think about it like that, but they're just so efficient. You know what I mean? Like they tried to call Jaden the check down king, and check down Charlie. I'm like, man, check down wins games. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you're in school. C's get degrees. Like, that's all they ask.
Hey, Brady won a lot of Super Bowls.
That's exactly
check down.
Yeah.
Brady did it for years. You know, that's
Dude, throw that sucker for 4 yards, 5 yards,
Move the
first down.
chains,
You know what I mean? Stay on the field. You care about what happens at the end. You don't worry about how he does it.
That's right. And, dude, you got some good running backs there. I mean, Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler. I mean, we had to deal with him forever in the AFC West. And, I mean, that guy's a brawler. I think there was one play in that game where he broke a tackle to get a first down. And, it was huge. That was just so clutch, man. You got to have that type of effort.
Came through clutch. Yeah, he came through big for the squad because he just brings that different dynamic. I mean, he's coming back off of a concussion, so, you obviously got to be cautious with that. But, yeah, he brings a different dynamic, and then Brian Robinson's like that sledgehammer, that, downhill guy, and then Austin is that lightning, somebody that's going to get out there on the edge, run those screens, and make the big plays for us. So how he's utilized, and how he makes plays on Saturday will be big too. I'm interested to see how that works out.
Well, I got a good hunch, man, that the Commanders are going to cover. I'm looking at it right now on ESPN Bet. It says 9.5. So it hasn't moved any.
I'd take that bet.
I really think they're going to cover that. I mean, it's tough to say. I hope they beat Detroit. For your sake, I hope they do. But, I mean, we haven't seen Detroit go that far in a long time. That's, one of those cases with both teams kind of deserve it. But, I mean, it'd be fun to see a rookie quarterback go far and beat them. So, I am going to take the spread. What do you predict the score will be if you have a prediction in mind?
Man, I could say I do not have a prediction in mind. The only thing that matters to me is that Washington has one more point than Detroit.
I love that.
That's all
man.
I got,
Scoreboard.
man. Because
Exactly. When it comes to playoffs,
yeah, I just need one more point. And the way that it's been this year, they've had 7 games where they've won on the final play. Like, there's 60 minutes of football, and I'm going to be watching all 60 of them. And for some reason, some way, somehow, Washington's going to find their way ahead. So that's my prediction. Washington, one more than Detroit. Probably one of the best
That's a good answer, man. That's a good answer. I like that. I'm a Chiefs fan, man. I dealt with a lot of close wins this year, so that's what I had to keep going back to work being like, hey, we won. That's all that matters.
Yeah, your little 15 wins, that ain't even seem real. You're like, we really got this? You sure?
It does. When you look at it, you're like, this is one of the roughest 15-win teams I've seen come sliding in the end of the season.
But they came on at the end of the season. That's all that matters.
And they're still favored.
So. Yeah, that's like the Commanders when they won the NFC East with 7 wins. I'm like, you're a champion, but you're not really, right? It's like we're gonna hang up the banner, but let's not put it up in the front. Right?
Yeah. It's tough, especially with they got to change something with the seeding come next couple years, especially in the playoffs.
You think so?
I don't
feel like Minnesota should move to a 5th seed and be on the road when you're 14
They
and 3.
Just got beat like they were a 5 seed.
They did, yeah.
What are you talking about?
I know, but still, it's rough. It's rough when you win 14 and there's a team in there with 9, or 10.
Yeah, there's a side of it where it's like, look, you just got to go on the road and win. You know what I mean?
That's true. If you're the Vikings, go and beat the Rams and the Lions twice instead of losing to them.
Yeah. So. Who knows? They may mix some things up, but I'm interested to see how it goes for real.
Oh, for sure.
Well, Anthony, man, we don't want to keep you too much longer. We know you are super busy, and we greatly appreciate you taking time out of your night to join us this evening.
I got a couple more questions if you got the time, man.
Yeah, you got it. I'm gonna give you one of those 2 questions.
Gotcha. That's perfect. That's all I need to know, man.
Good.
I know your time. Yeah. So I know this is a question that every current and former NFL player gets asked, but you are our first former NFL player, so I couldn't help it. What was your welcome to the NFL moment when you were playing?
That's a good one. That's good.
Man, that's a great one, and you're gonna get a couple of them.
All right.
So the first one was when I first got to Miami. That's where I got started out at, and I was coming off of a jet lag trip, and they were like, "Hey, you're gonna run this conditioning test." I was like, "I don't know what it is." It was 300-yard shuttles, like 50 yards and back. So you can do the math. Tough thing to do, but I made it. We get on to the first day of practice, and in the walkthrough period, it's not really walkthrough, but it's like open pre-practice. You just do your assignment. Everybody keeps it moving. I run up to this one safety, and this dude drops his shoulder into my chest and knocks me on my ass in front of Bill Parcells and a golf cart. And I'm looking up at the South Florida sun like, oh, shit. This is over. My first time in. Like, I can't let this be, my moment. So, I got up, and obviously I made it from there. But fast forward to Washington, I had noticed they had been testing me, the Shanahan crew. They had been testing me all camp. They had to figure out if I was going to be able to really play. Because with Shanahan, you have to be able to block, right? You have to be willing and able to block. And, I'm 180 pounds, not the biggest, but I'm a feisty little dude, right? And so if you remember the safety, LaRon Landry, right? Monster, right? Monster. Well, we do a drill in practice where it's the inside run drill. And usually during inside run, wide receivers and DBs go over there and do one-on-ones because it's there all the big guys getting messy. No, not this day. They said, receivers, y'all over here. I'm like, well, what the hell's going on?
What did I do?
Well, based on the run fit, based on the play call, your assignment is to go either get the safety first or go to the corner first. Well, this is inside run, so it's all safety work. Yeah, I got like 8 of the 12 reps of going against LaRon Landry, insert block, like I'm in line with them tight end. I'm in the wing position, anything to block this guy. I had like 8 of the 10 plays. I think that was my, like, let's see if he's going to be real or not. And so I definitely answered that bell and didn't get knocked on my ass that time. So those are my 2 welcome to the NFL.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, hats off to you for that. That guy was a stud, man.
Yeah. LaRon Landry was no joke.
Yeah, big, fast. Physical specimen, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, even hats off to you for playing in the league, man. It's every kid's dream, and just to hear this is quite the honor. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Well, it's an honor to be your first NFL player. Hopefully you get many more.
That's
hopefully
the plan.
They can be as interesting. Yeah. If they can be as interesting, we'll set the bar high.
You did. We're going to have to tell them.
Yeah. But, yeah, thanks for your time, man. And, dude, I'm really going to be rooting for the Commanders now and can't wait to see how it goes.
I love it. Bring a friend to the bandwagon.
Hey, they're our honorary team this year, I think. Last year it was Detroit. This year it's the Commanders.
That's right.
I love it. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, Anthony. Have a great night, man. Thank you very much. Bye.
You got it. Bye.
So I just realized we didn't get a chance to plug his socials again. We did a little bit beforehand. But
yeah, we wanted to keep as much time with him, I think, was better. It's great hearing him talk.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But
so
yes.
I just want to plug it.
Go.
So if you go to...
Something.
I know it. It is right here. It's Anthony Armstrong. You go to Rated Armstrong. Go to Rated Armstrong.
Like Rated
Twitter.
R.
Yeah.
Rated Armstrong.
Rated Armstrong. That's a pretty good Twitter handle.
I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And he is the co-host of Believe Commanders on the Believe Network. I didn't even realize the Believe Network was like such a big thing.
It's kind of like DNVR and kind of
Locked On.
Yeah.
Because when I was starting to type it in, there's like a bunch of teams that are in the Believe Network, and I was like,
so there's like a Believe Nuggets?
There's probably I don't know about Nuggets.
But there's other teams.
But there's other teams.
Good
It's kind of like the Locked On kind of network. So
Yeah.
that's pretty badass. And yeah, great real estate agent too. So
Great real
if you need
estate.
a house sold,
Yeah.
check him out.
Get at him.
Yeah.
Anthony Armstrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no,
Thanks
that was
again,
super.
Anthony.
That was super cool. First of many, like he said, and like we hope,
Yep.
we will be reaching out to more moving forward. I do want to try and get Nate Jackson on, who also played for Mike Shanahan, and Mike Shanahan turned him into a tight end.
Oh wow.
'Cause he's like, you're not the best wide receiver, but you can block and catch some balls.
We're gonna convert you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been trying to get Jake Plummer on one of these days, man.
I think I've reached out to him as well. We
Yeah.
will.
One of these days.
He'll come on. He's a
Yeah.
cool dude. I'm gonna just stalk him.
Need to buy some.
No, we
Ummo
don't
or
want to
something.
stalk him because we saw what happened. Did you hear about that?
Dude, that is bad. That person seems like
That person's crazy.
creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove past your house 3 times today.
Oh man, that is awful.
We'll talk about that here in a bit. But first, let us get into the music break.
Get it.
This month we have Meet the Giant. The
These
name
guys are cool.
of this song is Sawbone. So check them out and make sure to go follow Meet the Giant on all things streaming. We'll be right And we are back. That was Meet the Giant. The name of that song was Sawbone off of their newest album, We Are Revolting, which came out last year. Make sure to give them a like and follow, and you can find out when they are playing and all of those things on their Bandcamp, or just go on their social media for that matter. But yes, Meet the Giant are here for the rest of the month, and now we must get into...
Hold on.
No.
How about we just we'll cover our commercial right now?
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. Oh.
No. So,
My
look at
bad,
that.
dude.
Let's get into our sponsor, SDO Collectibles.
Yes, indeed.
Your go-to for all things collectible. They just got their eBay shop up and running. I saw they did a card or a pack break.
That's what I want to read.
He's
off
bringing
right
it up
now.
right now.
Yeah, dude, we're really in sync right
Look
now.
at this,
man.
dude.
Look at Justin
Oh,
Timberlake
my
and
God.
JC Chavez over here. Which one's which?
I want to be the Chris because his name was Chris.
Which one was Chris?
I don't remember. Maybe there wasn't one named Chris. I don't remember, dude.
It
Anyways,
doesn't matter.
back to SDO.
Right. So he just did.
Unless you're collecting boy band autographs, they may have those sooner than later.
Well, they just opened a what did he call it? We just ripped a box of 2024 Mosaic, and these cards are sick, man. They're all
I did see there's some
super
really
shiny.
cool cards in there.
You got the Brock Bowers card, Trevor Lawrence. I think that's Michael Penix Jr. This one right here is really cool. Whenever I was a kid, this was the card that I wanted more than anything. Emmitt Smith, man. Yep.
Good old Emmitt Smith.
Back whenever I was a closet Cowboys fan.
When we were both rocking the starter Cowboys jackets.
It was embarrassing. I burned all
I'm going to
the
get
photos.
another one of those just to have it.
Oh, yeah. Then he got a Caleb Williams one, and then Keon Coleman, which is a pretty good one. He had a good game, too.
Well, and some of those rookies, too, you think. Especially Brock Bowers.
Bowers,
going to be
dude?
worth some
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
that card probably went up in value this season alone.
That's a great break. That's an awesome one.
yeah.
But yeah, check them out. And then they got a show March 22nd at Park Meadows Drive, Lone Tree, Colorado. It's free entry. They got all kinds of different things. Pokemon, cards, you name it. Probably Funko Pops.
Good
all
old
kinds of
Funko Pops.
collectibles.
The collectibles, if you collect it, they got it.
That's right. Go check them out.
Go check out SDO. We appreciate all they do. And yeah, we'll be teaming up with them. We might actually be at that. I think it's that one that we might be at.
Might be able to be at that.
We might be there doing a little pop-up podcast, if you will. And we might be getting into doing some, breaks sponsored by SDO and stuff as well, just for some extra content and whatnot. So
That's right.
Plus, we need to start investing in sports cards because apparently you can make a lot of money. So
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
trying to retire.
good side hustle.
But yes, let us get back into the NFL. I'm not hitting the sound. We are already
We're
knee deep
Jumping
in
back
it.
into it.
Knee deep in
So
it.
we covered some playoff games, so we're going to get into the other ones.
Yes.
Houston dominated the Chargers. Justin Herbert throws 4 interceptions, and it's sad because Ladd McConkey went off in that game, man.
He's about the only one.
Yeah,
Ladd McConkey did it all.
Will Dissly had a drop that resulted in an interception. It was nuts, man. I mean, the turnovers. I mean, before that game, there was a lot of people that was predicting the Chargers to win, and they said if the Houston Texans were to win, they would have to be off turnovers. That's how they relied heavily on their defense throughout the years. They gave up a lot of yards, but they got a lot of turnovers. And they said if they don't get the turnovers, they can't win. But what happened? They got tons of them.
They got tons of them, and we'll be focusing on them a little bit more in the Daily Dogs because I picked Mr. Derek Stingley Jr. as my Daily Dog.
2
picks. So we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't know. The things don't look as good as they did for the Chargers. I mean, there's people talking about, like, is Herbert the answer? Will he stick around? He wasn't Jim's guy. Who knows? But with just 1 year under Jim Harbaugh, to look how they turned it around, I think they're doing pretty good.
I think they've got, you give Jim Harbaugh more and more time, it's only going to get better. I mean, he turned that team around big time from last year. Remember, they got beat like 63 by the 63 to like 20 last year by the Raiders, like Jim Harbaugh would never let that happen.
Yeah, and then let's kick it over to the other AFC West team that's now out.
Yep.
The Denver Broncos started out hot but cooled quickly in a brisk Buffalo as the Bills rout them 31-7. Denver really missed the likes of leading tackler Alex Singleton, linebacker, as James Cook just ate all day long, 122 yards and a touchdown. I was telling Chad before the podcast, it was amazing to look at the difference between James Cook running the ball and any Broncos running back. James Cook would fall forward for 4 yards, and the Broncos were getting knocked back for 4.
Yeah.
The Broncos need playmakers, but they're finally at a point now with $50 million going off and only $30 million hit for Mr. Russell Wilson. Next year, they are looking to be well under the cap, and they're going to be making some moves, so let's hope that they can continue. But the big news, Bo Nix, he was playing with a broken back, Chad.
He's tough, man. Never missed a snap. Crazy. 3 fractures.
My back is broken.
Oh, yeah.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Spinal. I forget what it's called, but it happened in the Raiders game before their Monday night game. He took a knee to the back, and it's like an inverse fracture. I guess he had 3 fractures in his back. I don't know, but the guy's a gamer.
Tough, man. You love to see it. You love to see it.
Let's move on.
Dallas Goedert stiff arms the Packers out of the playoffs, and he didn't even need to do one of them. He said on one of them, he was like, "Yeah, that was just kind
That was just for fun.
He said he slowed down so that he could stiff
Hit
arm
the
him.
last one, yeah.
That's
Well,
badass.
he hit the guy and just like shrugged him off, and the guy's like, "I'm coming back for you." He's like, "Get away from me!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm not done." He's like, "Yes, you are."
What a dog, too, man. Dallas Goedert's been in the game a minute, you know.
Yeah.
Still out there stiff arm guys, and then getting to the end zone to make like a game-sealing touchdown.
Yeah, and then another thing that happened, both Las Vegas and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown were very upset at Saquon Barkley as he had a wide open 60-yard touchdown that he just decided to slide, and which is the smart thing to do in a sense. But there was a lot of bettors with overs on his touchdown that were very, very unhappy.
Yep.
And then both of his wide receivers gave him a bunch of shit when he came back to the line. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, keep running,
I couldn't
man.
believe it, dude. I thought he was gone. I was like, damn, he did it. You know, he always has 1 a game.
Yeah.
And then he takes a slide. And they even told him, like, dude, you could have slid down at the 5.
Yeah,
Got
like,
us, like,
they
some
were
more
10
yards.
yards away from him when he slid. I was like, why did you just run, dude? Who cares?
Here's the smart thing, though. I did hear some good arguments for this.
Well, of course.
Provides so, like, he didn't risk, like, you know, if you're sprinting, the higher possibility
Hammy.
for pulling a hammy.
Ah, sniper.
Yep.
Sniper.
Nope. Didn't have to worry about
Nope.
that. Just resting. Now he got ready for
Slid.
next week, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And he did look fresh after like not going for the record last year. That's smart, man. He had a good game.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. So the other game, which rounded out this weekend, the Rams caused Darnold to see ghosts again. He did look like a Jets quarterback of old.
Wow.
Pressured 23 times, sacked 9 times for a total record-setting negative 82 yards from sacks. It's the most in playoff history.
This game really bummed me out, man. I was really pumped for it. Monday night playoff game. You know, I was even I had it on my phone, and then Hannah was like, "Well, there's a Monday night playoff game." I was like, "Yeah, they started this like 3 years ago."
Yeah, we're not sure why, but you know,
it is what it is. It's just like, okay,
Let's play 3 games on
Well,
Saturday.
the Rams jump out to a huge lead and then just sack them nonstop, and then nothing happens. There was that kind of controversial like defensive touchdown that got called back.
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
do you think it was?
I don't know, man.
I've
It
heard
looked like a
many-
fumble to me.
It
But
looks like a fumble watching it fast, but then when I saw
when you
the
slow it
replay,
down, it kind of looks like a little.
He kinda got rid of the ball. It was a forward pass. Technically, it was a pass.
Yeah.
It's tough. There's a lot of people that are bouncing back and forth on it.
Well, I don't know.
But
They didn't start the game off well for the Green Bay, anyways, as they fumbled the ball on the first kickoff. So it was like damning from them from the get go.
for Green Bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We jumped games.
Yep.
I jumped games.
Yep.
Oh my god. Look at
Yeah.
that.
No. Yeah. So you're talking about the Rams, right?
No, I was talking about Green Bay. I don't know why I just did that.
I thought you were talking about because you said Darnold seeing the ghosts and stuff.
No, we are on that game.
Yeah, okay.
I just said some
Oh.
crazy shit. So
right.
just disregard what I just said.
No worries. But okay, so basically, like the game in the second half was so boring, dude. I just like put it on my phone. And I started watching, or I started playing college football.
Oh,
It's
nice.
a
You
fun
like that game?
man, dude? It is awesome. I
You
play
like it better than Madden?
No, I like them differently. I love them differently, but
I
I'm
think
still
it's
new
like
to it. I'm still.
And the
very
thing
new.
I don't like about it is there's not much playability outside of playing people online. Like if you're just doing like Ultimate Team, after a while you're like, I feel like I'm just doing the same shit over and over. And
Well,
over again.
it depends on how much you like it though, because when I used to get into it, dude, I get really into
No, I
it.
get
Where
it.
I do a lot of like practice. I'll run a play over and over and over again to
Okay.
to
So
figure it
you
out.
know.
I'll run it against zone. I'll run it against man, so that when I play somebody, I know what to do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's nuts. And even when I used to play fucking 15 years ago, they didn't have RPOs, so I had to figure
that's
all
new
that
now.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I still mess those up.
Dude, but last night I played at CU. Dude, Travis Hunter's a cheat code.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. Every time you throw in the ball, he catches it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
It is what it is. But yeah, so this game, it was insane. Sam Darnold got pressured 23 times, sacked 9 times. He got sacked 6 times in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they set a record for the most sack yardage in a playoff game, thankfully beating the Chiefs-Bucks Super Bowl, where Patrick was ran over all of his. You know how many times they talked about this on the NFL Daily podcast? He was pressured in that game.
What, like 50%?
Probably close. 29 times.
That's pretty close.
If you get pressured 13 times in a game or 12, that's like, they
Yeah.
get pressured kind of a lot.
They're just in your
That's
backfield.
average.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. God, I hated that game. But anyway, 82 sack yardage. That's
Yardage.
just Yardage.
Yardage.
I mean, they were just in his face. I mean, he was holding on. His average time to throw was like 4.6 seconds.
Well, at one point, even the announcers, I think it was the radio crew for Minnesota was like, throw the ball. Like, they're yelling at him, like, get rid of it. What are you doing? It's like 4 seconds.
I don't get it, man. Like, there was so many. And, a lot of it was play calling, too. I think, like, a lot of people are blaming Darnold, but Kevin O'Connell did not call a good game. You could see his face and his frustration on the sidelines, but you never saw outlets. If you watch that Ravens and Steelers game where just Lamar and Derrick Henry just bulldozed the Steelers, there's that one play where, like, Lamar's sitting in the pocket forever. I think it was a touchdown pass to Justice Hill. Sitting in the pocket for like 10 seconds, and then Justice Hill leaks out as the outlet, throws to him, touchdown. You never saw Aaron Jones do that last night.
No.
That's what you got to have.
Yeah, they definitely should have had the Commanders game on Monday night, but what are you going to do? I did want to play this before we move on because it is the Commanders radio call of the game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
Did you hear this?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Let's hear it,
dude.
man. Awesome.
It's hilarious.
Gonzalez looking to send Washington into the divisional round. Snap good, hold down, kick on its way. It is good! The Cardiac Commanders are the Clutch Commanders! They do it again! We'll see you in Detroit!
And Zay Gonzalez kicks in the door and kicks us into the second round of the playoffs.
I wish we could just get radio calls for the real commentary.
Dude, sometimes, honestly, I do like the radio calls way
Mitch
better.
Holthus is like my fucking idol, man.
Yeah. Oh, my
shit.
God, dude,
Knocked
he
your
broke
shit
it.
down. That's what
But
I'm
anyways, let's move on. We got to hit the NBA. Oh, well, we got to do Daily Dogs.
Let's do Daily
Sorry.
Dogs real quick, man.
Here we go.
Daily.
All right, we're still on NFL, so you take it first.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I picked Mr. Derek Stingley Jr. He balled out in the game this weekend. 2 interceptions, as Chad alluded to earlier. He basically said that they heard all the talk about Houston's defense not going to show up, and they went out there and just proved everybody wrong.
Okay, do you remember watching that game? It was nuts. They kept targeting him, and it
Yeah.
wasn't working. It's like, what are you doing? It's like throwing to Darrelle Revis. It's like, okay, that's an island. Don't throw it.
Don't do it
And then he
anymore.
ends up with 2 picks, man. Like, dude, he's a baller. All-pro, too. All-pro.
Yeah, all pro, and he proved it this week. He did get, I'm trying to find it here, I just had it pulled up. He wound up with his strong performance, thanks to Pro Football Focus. It gave him an extremely high grade, the second best graded player in the entire wildcard round at 93.6. The honored wildcard's highest graded defender goes to Stingley, who secured a phenomenal 94.9 mark against the Chargers. Houston's coverage, spearheaded by Stingley's 2 fourth-quarter interceptions, surrendered little room for the Chargers to maneuver. The third-year cornerback also notched a pair of forced incompletions and a forced fumble, a credit to his sticky and aggressive coverage ability. So you can say, in terms of who the star of that game was, Derek Stingley Jr. He's the reason. The heartbeat of that defense was the reason why Herbert had more interceptions in one game than he did in 17.
Did they play 8? Oh, no, 17. Yeah.
Well, 18 in a year, too.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, he had such an efficient year, and then it just was throwing him, overthrowing guys a lot.
He looked like a rookie. It was crazy. He looked shell-shocked.
This
he
is
looked
another
like Sam
case.
Darnold.
This is another case. case in point, Daniel Jones is backing him up. Daniel Jones got paid like $60 million. We saw the mistakes of paying these guys that they think are superstars but haven't proven it. Justin Herbert's getting paid like superstar money, like $50 million. Hasn't won a playoff game.
We just watched Sam Darnold lose like $20 million. He's probably went from 50 to 30.
Yeah.
He'll probably get like a Baker deal, maybe
20. Yeah, probably Baker. I
think Baker got 30, so he'll probably get a little bit more than that just due to inflation
Saints or something, maybe. But
Raiders.
Nuts. Okay, so let me get to mine.
Yes.
We're going to college.
Oh, wait.
Mr.
Daily.
Damn right.
We're going to college.
Hailing from St. Louis, Missouri,
Misery.
Jeremiah Love playing for Notre Dame. And he was questionable for this game because he got a knee injury in the previous game against Georgia. Didn't matter. Went out there, and this is what I love. It's not his stats for this game don't jump off the screen. But the reason I wanted to do him as the daily dog because his effort, man, and his grit. If you watch that touchdown run, it is a thing of beauty. This is a play where he gets handed the ball, takes it to the left, off tackle. One guy hits him. A second guy hits him. He bulldozed through that. Then there's like three guys like pulling on his leg. He's like dragging guys. And then just keeps turning the legs, falls into the end zone. Unreal. And then he also said that he didn't want to do hurdles. He was really famous for that. He had like 8 during the season. He jumps up like a freaking Space Jam guy. But he said he wasn't going to do it because of his hurt knee. What's he do in this game? Hurdles a guy. Another play where he stiff arms a guy to the underworld, man. Just watch this guy's highlights. I hope, the Broncos probably want to draft him. If you want to run him back if you're an NFL team, you need to get Jeremiah Love.
Well, you heard it here.
That's my dog.
Daily.
Well, real quick, let's preview this. There's not much to talk about in NCAA football, as we have reached the pinnacle. The championship game is January 20th, and it will feature the number 7 and number 8 ranked teams of the college football playoff taking on one another. The Ohio State Buckeyes at 13-2 will be taking on the Fighting Irish at 14-1, and as Chad just alluded to, Jeremiah Love and Riley Leonard are leading that Fighting Irish offense, and they can do it on the ground, they can do it in the air. Riley Leonard can only throw 90 yards and they'll still win a game. They don't like to
pass. They don't like to let him pass over 15 times.
No, don't do it.
No. There's another Price. Yeah, Price is that other good running back for Notre Dame. They have do you remember Auburn back in the day when they had Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams?
Oh, good Cadillac.
Yeah.
I forgot about Cadillac.
Yeah, Cadillac. Went to the Bucks, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Those were so, when you got a tandem like that, it's dangerous, dude.
It is, but they're going up against one of the highest paid teams in college football.
Formidable, dude. Formidable.
They've got one hell of a defense. They are loaded on offense. It's going to be a tough game. I think Ohio State's probably going to pull it off just because I think as a whole they are a better team. But Notre Dame definitely has a chance here to go in and upset them. I'm trying to see what the spread was.
9.5.
Oh, 9.5 for Ohio State?
Yep.
Yeah. That seems about right, unfortunately, even though they snuck into the playoffs, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I just really hope that Notre Dame can pull this upset off because I just really don't want to see an Ohio State win.
I got a question for you. Are their helmets 2 gold?
Never.
Okay.
I wish they were more gold. Real
I wish
gold.
It was real gold.
I mean, there's bits of gold in there.
24 carats.
Dude, Beal told me that there's bits of gold, like
real
small
gold?
percentage of gold, real gold in there.
Oh my God,
I believe it, dude. That you could tell by how shiny they are.
Well, the nice thing the nice thing about not having a conference, every one of these bonuses they win goes right into their pockets. They got
of the
$20 million for winning that game last week.
When other teams won their playoff game or something, it went to their conference.
And they got to divvy it up.
Yeah, they don't have to share that. That's badass.
No, so in the age of the NIL, That is a severe unfair advantage if you can make it into the playoffs and just start making chunk change like that.
Pretty awesome, man. That's why they, try to schedule a tough schedule, because if they can complete it and play well, then it looks good.
Yeah, they just will never get a first round bye, which we saw this year doesn't really matter.
I bet they take that
They
away.
probably
next
don't
year.
want a first round
No,
bye.
I bet they really take that away.
It blew up in their face badly. But
we're looking forward to that January 20th at 5:30 Mountain Standard Time next Monday
next Monday
on ESPN.
No Monday Night Football. We got NCAA football.
All right.
Let's do it. We got to get into the NBA. We're going to fly because we are behind the ball, so to speak.
3 seconds left. Why are they not fouling?
Time is running out. Buzzer beaters the rest of the way. All right, so things have been going wild in the NBA, especially out there in LA, as the fires have been rolling. The Lakers and the Clippers returned to the court for the first time this week after a 6-day break to account for the wildfires. Head coach J.J. Redick of the Lakers lost his home, one of the thousands to lose their homes. I think I saw right now the counts like 12,000 structures and then like 40 million square miles, just like insane amount. Pacific Palisades, the whole city's gone, just burnt down.
Praying
so
for all those people.
Definitely hoping that ends soon. But the Lakers and even the Rams kind of said too, like we weren't just playing for us in that game. They said we were playing for all of LA. I forgot about it till just now.
Yeah, as soon as you start talking about the NBA, I was like, damn, I wanted to mention that, because them getting that win last night is nuts. They had to go to Arizona for casuals.
They had to move it.
That didn't know there was and you got to hand it to the Kroenke organization, because they helped fly out all the families and pets.
I saw
to
that.
Travel with the team, and make sure they're all safe. And I think that's really cool. It's just, really, really awesome thing. It reminds me when the Saints kind of rallied around when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a definite cool storyline if the Rams ended up pulling it all off with everything that's going on there. JJ Redick, there was another cool thing. They played the Spurs last night. It was their first game back.
Yep.
I guess JJ Redick, both of his kids lost their all of their memorabilia in the fire. Like, I'm sure they probably got tons of jerseys from like everybody. God. And they lost all of it. And so after the game, Chris Paul and Wemby both went and gave them their jerseys to start their collection over again. Super cool.
JJ Redick mentioned that too, how I think it was when they played maybe on the Pelicans together or something. I can't quite remember. Maybe it was the Clippers. Either way, they both played for a lot of teams. They're really close, and Chris Paul knows their kids. Saw them grow up, so that's one reason he felt the need to do that.
Yeah, so super cool. Other news, not much happening right now in the NBA. We're just playing.
Yeah, we're almost to the All-Star break.
Almost there, but the Warriors fall under 500 for the first time all season after losing to the Raptors 104-101 last night, having lost 17 out of their last 24. Curry hopes the team doesn't do something drastic to hurt the future. We were just talking about this real quick in the break. I do kind of find it to be honorable, so to speak, because I feel like he thinks that they're going to be doing that to kind of try and, give him one last hurrah, because I don't know how much longer he's going to be at the height that he is. He's already had a bunch of ankle issues and stuff. Yeah. And I do think he's kind of being like, do not waste the future of this team on trying to win me another one. Yeah. Maybe cool. I'm wrong, but that's the kind of the way I saw it.
He's a pretty good guy like that. Other NBA news, just to kind of up to date you, and this I know will be a little old when it comes out, but Donovan Mitchell is at 33 points right now at the end of the third quarter. The dude's going to have another 40-point game probably.
40 burger.
And he's just tearing it up. So the Cavaliers, man, they're playing real good. They played the Thunder last week and beat the Thunder.
Yeah.
Best of the best.
Other news, Irving returns after a 5-game absence, and then Jimmy Butler reiterates,
still wants to trade.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Really unhappy down there.
So we'll see how that plays out. It's going to happen here soon, but let's hit the standings real quick and just fly through a couple here. Do you want to start us off, Chad?
Yeah, all right, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers at 33-5. Number 2 is the Celtics at 28-11. Number 3 is the Knicks at 26-15. The Magic at 23-18. Then the Pacers 22-18, and then the Bucks at 20-17.
Yes, and that rounds out the Eastern Conference. Into the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder continue to keep winning, 32-6, winning 9 of their last 10. Beneath them in second, Houston Rockets 26-12. The Grizzlies are in third, 25-15. The Nuggets 23-15 in fourth. The Mavericks 22-17, and the Clippers in sixth at 21-17. So there is not much separating the top 6 in the West aside from number 1.
Yep.
Number 2 to 6 is very close.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is go on a run.
Nuggets play the Mavs tonight. I think Luka and Kyrie are still out, right? I don't think Luka's.
Kyrie's coming back, but Luka's still out. Yeah, I don't know what.
He's come back tonight.
That's what they said.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. Wow. But yeah, the Nuggets are on a 3-game winning streak, so let's keep that going.
Let's keep it going, Nuggets.
Yep. All right.
All right, so let's move into the penalty box.
To do that, you go to the box, 2 minutes by yourself, and you feel shame.
You feel shame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 76ers and the Flyers, this kind of crosses both. They are going to have a new arena come 2031. They are abandoning the deal for the downtown arena that they had planned. There was just too much. As you know, anytime a sports team tries to build an arena in a downtown area, there's usually a lot of people who don't want it. Fans and regular citizens don't want to pay for it. I don't know if that was going to be the case on this one, but regardless, they could not come to an agreement on renovating an area of downtown Philly to build a new arena. So now they will be building the stadium to the south of Philly, and they are also going to be trying to bring in a WNBA team to Philadelphia. So that's the plans there. Other than that, in terms of the Flyers, I don't have much news, but let's move on to the second thing. Eric Stahl becomes the 4th player to have his number retired in the rafters of the Lenovo Center by the Hurricanes. Stahl wore number 12 and was the 2nd overall pick in 2003. He spent 12 of his 18 seasons with the Hurricanes, amassing 455 goals, 608 assists, over 1,365 games. He appeared in 6 All-Star games and won MVP honors in the 2008 contest. He says his greatest accomplishment was winning the Stanley Cup in 2006 for the franchise's first time ever. So big ups to him. He's now going to live on in infamy.
Hurricanes are always good, too.
Yeah, not unless they're in the ocean.
Yeah, the hockey team. Well, we do have the Ovechkin watch.
Take it to him.
Yep, he is now at 873, just 21 shy of the great one, as he scored in the Capitals' 4-1 win over the Predators Saturday.
Yes, and I was trying to see if they are playing tonight, because you would think that they might be. Capitals are up 3-0 over Anaheim in the 3rd period right now. Let's see if he scored while we were talking about him. Let's see here. Alex Ovechkin. No goals. No assists. So nothing tonight so far, but we'll keep you updated as he is only 21 away. So let's get into the UFC preview.
Let's do it.
Let's get it on!
All right, we got a good one coming up this Saturday. This is one I think I'm probably going to buy. It's Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian for the 2nd time.
Nice.
All right.
Lots of hard names to say.
Yes, this is. I was actually thinking it was probably in Abu Dhabi or something. It's actually in L.A. at the Intuit Dome.
That's surprising.
Yep.
Hopefully it's still there.
Yeah, all the fires have been put out. Yeah, I thought the same thing when I saw it in Los Angeles. I was like,
oh, shit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think I'm more excited for the co-main event, honestly.
Marab?
This one is a banger. Marab Devolashvili. I always... Yep, we're gonna go with that.
Devolashvili.
His first name. That's why I just call it.
The other one's is easier but longer.
Umar Nurmagomedov, the cousin of the great Habib Nurmagomedov.
Yes,
Right.
And then even in the light heavyweight here,
great card.
Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill.
Yep,
that'll be a fun.
That's
one.
an awesome.
Is that his first fight back from his Achilles?
Oh, Jamal Hill.
Yeah.
I forgot that he tore his Achilles. Yeah, that's been. Yeah, damn, that has been a while. Then Benil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. That's another great fight. Then for the first card of the main card, Kevin Holland versus Renier de Ritter. I don't know who that guy is, but he's 18-2. Seems really good. But Kevin Holland's always an exciting fighter. But we're going to just cover the two co-main event and main events real quick. This is awesome. Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan have fought before. I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. It was a hard, close fight, and it ended in decision. It was a full 5-round fight, I believe. And because I think it was like a co-main event, and Islam basically kind of tired him out in the last round. It was it was pretty much what they said was 2-2, and then Arman just kind of like tired out. Islam took him down. His ground game is just as good as Khabib's, if not better. He's almost like a better striker as well. He's bordering on history right now. He's 26-1. I think this will be his 4th title defense. I mean, the guy... It's hard to bet against these Dagestani fighters. And
it really is. Like, every time you just see one of their names, you're like, he's probably going to win. Yep. Unless they're fighting 2 of them. You know, if there's 2 guys like that, then you're screwed.
And it's crazy because Arman Tsarukyan is a great fighter. He just recently got, his most recent fight is beating Charles Oliveira, one of the top-ranked guys. So he's no chump either.
Yeah, 22-3-0 for Arman.
It's unbelievable, but this is going to be a banger. And then, like I'd mentioned in the co-main event, you got a Nurmagomedov. So you got 2 guys out of Khabib's camp fighting in this and main event. If they both win, then you're going to have 3 fighters from that camp that have been champions, and then 2 at the same time. It's going to be crazy. So my pick is obviously Islam.
Yeah. No, and he is favored by minus 400. Arman plus 300. Merab. Ooh,
what is the odds there?
He's not favored. Merab is plus 255.
Are you
Umar,
for real?
Minus 333.
I did not know that. Yeah. That is crazy. So Umar Nurmagomedov is undefeated at 18-0. This one is really intriguing because he is one of the first Nurmagomedovs, or like Sambo type guys that come out of that camp. That's more of a striker. When he first started off, Khabib had to really try to get him to get through his head. You need to be a wrestler. You're not going to be part of our camp and not be a wrestler. Yeah. And so he finally mastered that. He started submitting guys, but he's going up against maybe the best wrestler in, for one, that division, if not the UFC. In the bantamweight division, Merab, this is a guy that's beaten some greats. Jose Aldo, Henry Cejudo, Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan. I mean, that list right there, that resume is just an onslaught of just great fighters. He handled them all. It's so tough for this one. This is like what I said too. Nurmagomedov is a striker, so he may have that over Merab, but Merab's also pieced some guys up as well. Umar's undefeated at 18-0. Then Merab's 18-4. Dude, this card, right? This fight could be a main event.
Yeah, this definitely does seem like one of the better pay-per-views in a while. Yeah. Most of them are like, there's one good fight.
Dude, I'm really banking on, I'm just really praying the Chiefs win their divisional game. We come back here after Dawn's. She's always feeling kind of buzzed and drunk after Dawn's, takes a bath, pass out. Nap time. I'm going to put the fights on, and then the Saturday night game with the Lions and Commanders. Should be a great Saturday night.
Sounds like a good Saturday.
Let's go.
Unless the Texans pull it off.
Nope. Not this time. Andy Reid, 13-4 after a bye.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
With the Chiefs, I should.
With the chef.
But, yeah, it's a great fight. Great card. Check it out. We didn't even mention the prelims, but I bet there's a lot of good ones on there. Oh, and I think I will take Umar Nurmagomedov, man. It's so tough to bet against Merab, but I think that's because of the striking that Umar presents. I think that's why he wins.
Nice. Yep. All right. Well, it's that time.
Let's get to
the end of the show. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Daly, is about to hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back.
Oh, no. John's in the hospital, everybody. We need him to be his own daily dog.
He's going to be hitting the links again soon, but yeah, I don't know what procedure, didn't say anything like that, but he was in the hospital. Wouldn't doubt because of the way John Daly lives.
Oh, he had emergency hand surgery.
Oh, wow. I wonder if he had to punched something or what.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to see.
Holy cow. But yeah, Praying for you, John.
Yeah, keep it up, John.
Yep. All right.
Yes, fix your hand, man. Get your hand figured out.
We'll be covering. I wanted to pull up the link, actually. All right. The NFL debut of...
NHL.
NHL debut of, correct me if I'm wrong with the last name, Chris.
Weisblatt.
Ozzy Weisblatt. Man,
Yes.
that's a cool last name. Well, his mother, Kim White, I found this story very inspirational. Hits so close to home, too, because my mom worked 3 jobs most of the time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't play in the pros, but I'm talking about the pros.
You really let her down.
No. Should have been better.
Sorry, Mom.
She was always working hard, though. Well, his mother, Kim White, worked 4 jobs to help her sons play the sport they loved, hockey. Today, all 4 have been drafted to some form of professional hockey, and Ozzy made his debut for the Predators last night.
Yes, Kim is deaf. She was born deaf. Her husband was also deaf, but they had 4 hearing children, all of which who eventually got into hockey. There's a video that Chad shared, and I watched it, and I guess a hockey coach saw her kid. They're from Canada. Saw her kids playing soccer, and he's like, "Your kids look like they would be good on skates." And she's like, "I can't afford that."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "No, just bring them out, and we'll figure something out." She struggled. You know, hockey is one of the most expensive sports. If you have kids in hockey, I mean, there's people talking, it's like tens of thousands of dollars just in equipment, it's travel, ridiculous. Everything.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, she tried and struggled to keep her kids in, and they started moving up in terms of getting better and better, and it came to the point where she could no longer care for all 4 of the kids and work the jobs, so 2 of them went to go live with another family, and the family took on them and paid for their hockey and stuff while she cared for the other 2.
Amazing.
And as Chad said, all 4 of them now have made it to some form of professional hockey. They've all got cool names like Ocean and like I forget what the other one is. Orca,
like
Ocean,
That's bad.
and then Ozzy. He kind of got screwed.
I would bet they liked Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But yeah, Ozzy Weisblatt was the son. I think he's the middle son, and he's the one that was just recently traded to the Nashville Predators in exchange for Igor Afanasyev, which was on June 23rd of 2004, and on January 3rd, 2025, Weisblatt made his NHL debut with the Nashville Predators.
Yes, indeed.
He hasn't had, it's not been groundbreaking, but he has got some minutes out there, and he was able to toss a puck to his mother before the game because she, at the end of the video, they were asking her like, well, what do you think would happen if one of the kids made it to the NHL? And she's like, oh, I would freak out, I would just cry and all this stuff. And yeah, it's super cool. And like even the Predators are kind of like leaning into it. I guess when he introduced himself, the introductory video he did in sign language as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all 4 of the kids are like, they had to learn sign language first. I guess actually Ozzy was saying that he learned English from TV because you grow up in silence basically.
You're reading subtitles.
You just so he's like, I learned English from TV. So
That's awesome.
He's like, we didn't have an easy upbringing by any means, and for them to persevere the way they did is all due to Kim, who ended up doing that as a single mother. Their dad ended up leaving at when they were teenagers, and Kim
Super
White,
amazing story.
She's she is a daily dose of excellence, that's for sure, because just what she did just to provide for her children is one of those things that
it's amazing. It's an inspiration for the deaf community and for all parents out there. Just man, I don't know if I can get my kid to soccer practice. It's inconvenient or something like that. But if they like it, if they enjoy it, it doesn't matter if they're even good or not. Case in point, me. They go. They take them there, and they attend and they watch. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, we were lucky to have parents that were, always involved with our stuff. So we didn't have it.
And look how good we turned out.
Yeah, we turned out okay.
Damn right.
We turned out all right.
But hats off to Kim White. This is an amazing story, and I'm really hoping that Ozzy Weisblatt keeps going, and we get to maybe hear about him scoring goals or.
Maybe a couple of his brothers will make the way up too,
That'd be great.
They seem like quite the hockey family. So that is our daily dose of excellence, Miss Kim White. We take our hat off to you.
Yep.
And that is the end of episode 115. It was a fun one.
That was a good one, man.
That was
a pioneering one. Next week, I don't want to say for sure, but we think we have a Philly guest on. We've been wanting to get a Philly insider on for a while. We did have Blair on. This guy is a podcaster.
You don't matter, Blair.
No, Blair definitely matters. He's a hardcore fan.
He is.
Those are the
I
guys
saw
we
him
love.
singing in the.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
singing the
that
fight
Phillies
song.
bar, man, that is a dedicated bar.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, they go wild. So, yeah, hopefully we can get that Phillies insider on and maybe get to talk about them winning over the Rams.
The
We'll see.
Rams. Well, that is the end of episode 115. We thank you all for tuning in. If you have not yet, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. And tell a friend, damn it.
Yeah.
Get someone involved.
Show them your phone. Be like, check this out.
Check this out.
Check it out.
And then force them to listen to it.
Yes, indeed.
But yes, we appreciate every one of you guys. Chadley, I love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Yes.
Farewell. Thank
Fairly
you,
well.
guys.
We'll see you next week. Toodles.